5 individual chords.
A major, C sharp minor, F sharp minor, D, E.
When combined, they become a melody. They embody music. Music is the science of combining vocal or instrumental sounds to produce beauty of form, harmony, and expression of emotion. But this definition is unsatisfying. What is the science behind music, and why is it an essential component to our everyday lives?
I was living in Salem, Mass., sitting in my condo looking out the window over Salem, and just sort of had come across the chord pattern, which was sort of this bouncy Brit-pop feel. That was sort of a reflection of stuff I was feeling at the time in my life. I had just gotten laid off and was just sitting there sort of frustrated that what I wanted in life seemed sort of far away.
David Mirabella, founder of the Boston-based band The Rationales, composed the song in one sitting. Now, whenever he performs Far Away, he relives the conflict and tension he felt the day he wrote it. One song can spark an unlimited range of emotions, and it seems to happen almost involuntarily. Where does this emotional connection to music come from? The answer is still a mystery, but the guesses are as varied as music itself. Harvard language theorist Steven Pinker compared music to auditory cheesecake. Thousands of years ago, the sugar and fat found in cheesecake used to be essential to keeping us alive. But now, there's an abundance, so cheesecake isn't exactly necessary for our health. At one time, music was used as another form of communication. With our advancements in communication, music is now merely a craving. Pinker believes if music disappeared, we could easily live and evolve without it. On the opposite side of the spectrum, there's British music and science professor Ian Cross's theory.
We can all go to a concert, we can all be moved, but if you really start to talk to people about their individual experience, they might have been having really different reactions. But by being in the presence of all these other people who are being moved, there's this sense that you're transcending these boundaries and there's this deep communication happening. And this has been called by Ian Cross, there's this notion of floating intentionality.
Elizabeth Margulis is director of the Music Cognition Lab at the University of Arkansas. She has worked extensively with musical structure and engagement. In either theory, music is certainly a source we are drawn to. We have iPods, radios, choruses, musicals, orchestras, bands, karaoke, nightclubs. Why are we so attracted to music? Maybe because of a specific formula. A recent study in the Scientific Reports journal supports the idea that current pop songs all sound alike. The study included an archive called the Million Song Dataset that analyzed audio of pop songs from the last 50 years. Researchers concluded that the variety of note combinations has indeed shrunk. If a band is at a creative roadblock, all they have to do is recycle an old song but make it louder and simpler. The Australian band called The Axis of Awesome demonstrates this phenomenon in their viral YouTube video.
All the greatest hits from the past 40 years just use 4 chords. These 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. If I could, then I would. I'll go wherever you will go. Can you feel the love tonight? And she will.
If music is such a creative entity, why do we love songs with unoriginal choruses? Does this mean there's some sort of recipe for the perfect song?
There's some optimal mix of kind of old and new in a song that really works. So it's got to be familiar enough to bring the appropriate expectations to the table, such that when the composer or the performer does something a little different, you're into it.
There is also science behind the reason why a person might cry to Adele's Someone Like You. Combined with lyrics and a soulful voice, the song manipulates emotions. It does this by applying the appoggiatura. The appoggiatura is when a note clashes with the melody to form dissonance and tension. When the note resolves to match the melody line, we feel a sense of relief or accomplishment. Marketers often use music to help consumers remember the product. We have little control over jingles that get stuck in our heads. This phenomenon is called earworms, because they slip into the subconscious and never seem to leave. How many times have you caught yourself humming along to this gem?
I am stuck on Band-Aid brand.
Or this one.
Price, I
Jingle writers know which notes are most memory effective.
Jingle writers who utilize the elements that are known about earworms to try to create this cognitive itch. They study this, and there always tends to be like a little surprise factor in the melody, so that jump tends to be one of those elements that hooks people.
Music therapy professor at Berklee College of Music, Kathleen Howland, studies music's direct effect on memory. This music-memory relationship has created astounding results in the medical field. As part of the Alzheimer's Project, HBO released a documentary called Woody's Song. The movie followed Woody Geist, a 16-year Alzheimer's patient. Geist woke up every morning unsure where he was. He could, however, remember how to sing melodies and harmonies to a wide array of songs. Surprisingly, this is not such an unusual case.
The parts of the brain that deteriorate with Alzheimer's don't seem to significantly impact music, whether it's perception, hearing a piece you know you know it, or production, singing it or playing it. And even late-stage Alzheimer's people can be reached with music of their youth.
Howland found that the unresponsive autistic children she worked with would become highly attentive when music was involved. This was also true with many of her other nonverbal patients.
A woman who was blind and 16 years old, nonverbal and non-ambulatory, and profoundly handicapped as well. And she would generally have her head laying on her tray of the wheelchair. When she heard a song she knew, she would rise up and sit straight up and sing and be so accurate. And she would cry to John Denver songs.
Recent groundbreaking research from Rice University and University of Maryland College Park found that music actually comes before language, contrary to popular belief. Newborns have the ability to distinguish pitch, rhythm, and resonance in speech sound.
It's so clear that when you exaggerate and start repeating words and engaging with a baby in what's called infant-directed speech, which is basically musicalized speech, babies are transfixed.
Amazingly, people who have suffered injuries to speech centers in the brain lose the ability to speak, but can still sing. Music therapy can help to open new language passageways. In fact, Representative Gabrielle Giffords worked with a music therapist during her recuperation. The music helped her speak again. Boston's Beth Israel Deacon's Medical Center is conducting singing therapy trials for post-stroke patients, the first of its kind. The music therapists direct the patients to sing words at a very slow pace in musical intervals. Gradually, the intervals grow closer together until the patient's pitch sounds like he or she is speaking. NPR spoke with Deborah Meyerson, a patient in the trial.
My speech is, yes.
It is very difficult for her to form even a simple sentence, and this is Meyerson during singing therapy.
Would you pour me the glass, please?
She is starting to pick up speech through music. While music can tap into our deepest emotions and perform medical miracles, maybe the most fascinating part about music is what each individual experiences.
To me, sort of the beauty of music is the fact that at the basis of it is just sort of physics. It's the math of sound waves. I'm sure that, they could do research in genetics and science and physics and find how the particular combinations of sound waves affect different people and what it does to people. But I'm just, sort of excited and happy that it does it.
And when those individual experiences are combined, they embody the real science behind music. For You Are Here, I'm Erin Connolly.